Esty here. Today we're going to do Mark IV headlight wiring harness replacement. One of the problems with the Mark IV headlights, both the Jetta and the Golf, is that the insulation on the wiring harness gets old and cracked from heating up and cooling down and heating up and just getting old with age. And it cracks off and you end up with shorts inside your wiring harness, or maybe just one of the lights doesn't work. Here's a pretty extreme one. Let me get a close up. It's pretty extreme how you could see the wires fraying, and every single wire has lost its insulation right out of the bracket there. So that's time to replace it. Very easy to get a short there inside the headlight, hit a little bump, psst, boom, blow a fuse. Can't figure out why you keep blowing fuse for your headlights. I ordered mine from fixmyvw.com. Andrew Rodriguez, great dude. I appreciate everything every time I've ordered anything from him. They're about 30 bucks. It depends on what kinds you get. Now there's a whole mess of different Mark IV headlights. Obviously there's Jetta and Golf, and then even amongst the Golfs there are with fog lights, without fog lights, the ones that have the little city driving light down in the bottom of the high beams. There's several different models, so you got to make sure that you get the harness that matches your headlight. Go to his website, have a look. You can also get them on eBay. You might even be able to find them on Amazon. You can get just about anything on Amazon these days. Regardless, I got them and we're going to put them in. The hardest part is probably getting the headlight off the vehicle. It may be possible to do this in the vehicle without taking the headlight out, but that would be a pretty big pain in the butt. You'd have to take the battery out to get the left side, the driver's side headlight access to the back of it. So we've got it here on the bench to show you how it goes. Start off with, put you a nice soft rag on the clean surface so you're not scratching up the lens of the headlight, because you're going to have that facing down the whole time. So here's the back of the Golf headlight. Pretty simple. There's a wire clip here. You just pop that off. If it gets really hard, and sometimes they do, you can take a screwdriver and bring it up, and so you're putting a little bit of up and over on it. Pop that off. Disengage the teeth over here by pulling it this way just a little bit, and there's a couple of your bulbs. The other half, there's a little tab right here. Then I'm going to push that and then pull this cover up and out. It engages on a little tooth right there in that loop, so we just squeeze that and wiggle it up, and there it is. Okay, so the first thing to do, well, you can work it a couple of different ways. Probably the easiest thing is to go ahead and unplug all the lights. Take a quick note of where they go. There's only two that work to plug the wrong ones on, so it's not too difficult to figure them out. The long one obviously comes way over to the end, opposite of the plug, and those are the only two that you can confuse. The turn signal bulb connector doesn't fit anywhere else. So you just pop those out. The driving light, or sorry, the city light, that little one down in the bottom there, that one just pulls up out. That's what it looks like. It's just a barrel. There's nothing to squeeze. You just grab it and pull it up out. Sometimes you got to work it back and forth a little bit. The hardest thing is that you can't get your fingers down in there. Then just feed your wires back up out. You might have to finagle them a little bit. Good thing is, on an old harness, you're not worried about if you dork it up. If you're having trouble getting the one from the big reflector there over, you may have to adjust your headlight down. I'm sorry, that's adjusting it. Yeah, that's adjusting it down by screwing this counterclockwise so that you can fit that connector underneath there. and then it comes up, and then you just continue feeding them across and out. Okay, before you get too far, I would recommend you shake all that old insulation out, because I've got all kinds of little flecks from the old insulation inside the headlight. You could take some low pressure compressed air if you wanted. So here's the connector. That's the part that is outside the headlight. So this is the part that's inside the headlight. And we're going to bring it as if it's coming out of the headlight. So there's a little tab that lines up, and then a little push guide. I'm just pushing on that little tab there and then pushing it that way. There we go. Now we should be able to, there is an O-ring in there. So if your new harness didn't come with an O-ring, you'll need to take that O-ring right there off and put it on the new one. But I've got fresh ones on these. And you just feed it through, because we need to reuse this piece. Now I'd recommend you lay out your harness and double check that you got the right one. Just lay them next to each other and make sure you got all the same connectors. Alright, looks good. Got the right harness. Assembly is just the reverse of taking it apart. Slide all the connectors from this tab side back through. Look for the little tooth that lines up with the groove, and it'll just snap into place. You may need to lube a little bit on that O-ring. You can put a little bit of soapy water, or don't use WD-40 or grease, because that may degrade your O-ring. And it should just, a little bit of finagling, snaps right in. There you have it. Give it a tug, make sure it's in there. A little compression on that O-ring to seal that. Now it's just the reverse process. I'm going to go ahead and put a new bulb in my city light. Okay. So the two longer ones are going to go under and come through for the turn signal and low beam. For right now, we'll just leave them. The hardest one is down there for that city light, so I'm going to go ahead and reach down in, set that city light into its socket. Okay. And we'll take high beam, plug that on, and it snaps in. Engage that tongue into that loop, just like you did to take it off. Push this down, and that should engage. Now you can take these out, run the turn signal over. It is unidirectional, so you can't plug it in the wrong way. Corners are cut off on one side. Get that in there snug. If you do take your bulb out, make sure you don't handle the actual bulb. Hold it by the base. The oils from your hand can cause a hot spot on it when it's on, and then it'll fail prematurely. And this is the hardest one, getting it underneath this cross support. Again, if it's really bad, you can run your headlight all the way out, but just remember, when you remount them, you'll have to re-aim them on the car. Plug that one on. Okay, we're set. Engage those two little teeth in the loops on this side. should have to hold it down a little bit as you flip the wire bail up over it. Make sure that engages. And now we have a new harness in our headlight. Should be good and not blow the fuse anymore. So let's go get it on the car, see what it looks like. So here's the op check on the new harnesses. All the lights are functioning. Everything looks good. Now I just got to finish the rest of the work of this car, get the front end back on, and get it back on the road. Thanks for watching.